Sweet. Hello, Mr. Gabe Baker.
You should cheers. Cheers.
That's it. Welcome to the Eddy Echo Show.
Thank you for having me, Eddie.
You were one of the first people on my list when we were getting this rolling, and yeah, I'm looking forward to asking you some questions and getting to know you more than I already do.
Thank you, man. I'm honored to be here. This is great. The best setup in here. If you guys if people can see it, right? People, if you can see it,
they can see it. Yeah.
But if you're listening to it, bro, the best setup in here.
You might hear some sirens outside.
Yeah.
And I think I hear some car horns and maybe even some woohoo girls.
Oh,
but we're going to try
right.
to keep that to a minimum. I have software that can take them out later,
That's right.
so it's
We could-
okay.
yeah.
But yeah, so how long you been in Nashville, Gabe?
I've been in Nashville for 2 years and about 5 months. 2 years and 5
Wow.
months. Yeah.
So we really did meet when you first moved to town,
Yeah, I
and
think
middle
right-
of the pandemic too. so.
Exactly that. So we met probably fall of the pandemic, I think, right?
At an
Fall of
outdoor
2020.
event, I think I remember. It was
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, and so
Maybe
yeah, I
Ryan.
moved July of 2020, and my thing I always say was like the best time to pursue a music career was peak of the pandemic, but ironically I learned that there's so many other people like me that shifted and moved to Nashville or different things in the middle of like the chaos that.
And
the
where were you
pandemic was.
living before Nashville? I know you're from Texas originally, which we'll get
I was
into,
living in
but-
Houston before.
Okay, so you were
before.
living, and is that where you're from originally?
I grew up in San Antonio, but I was in Houston for college and like 10 years total.
Cool.
So, yeah, Houston is definitely kind of a second home kind of vibe. I love Houston.
Okay,
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah, man.
So let's go back to the start. So growing up in San Antonio, how do you start playing music? How are you first introduced to the cello?
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah. So I'm a Texan, tried and true. I know my boy Hugh G's in
Yeah.
here. He's a Texan by virtue in the sense.
Love all my Texans.
Yeah. No,
I love
actually,
him here.
Hugh G is from Michigan too. But
Yeah.
anyways, but no, yeah. I grew up in San Antonio and older parents. Both my parents were musical. Mom played the violin, can sing, played the keys, and my dad can sing really well. And grew up just in a very musical household. And so that was just an open space. We just listened to music a lot. We were singing around the house. I'm the youngest of 3 siblings as well. And so around elementary school is when my older sister picked up the violin and my older brother picked up the upright bass. And when I got to 4th grade, I picked up the cello. And so me and my brother both picked up our string instruments at the same time. My brother was in the 5th grade. I was in the 4th grade. And that was my first entrance into doing something like officially musical. And outside of that was mainly sports. And so,
Is that when you became the cello guy?
In time it was. I mean, when little Gabe playing the cello, you couldn't see the future of like this would be the thing. But I'm so grateful that I did choose it and I stuck with it. And it's kind of a challenging thing when you're doing, especially if you're doing multiple kind of extracurriculars growing up.
Yeah, sure.
Namely sports. I feel
And
like
you're an athletic guy still, and I see. I mean, we'll get into it, but I know you did the American Ninja Warrior thing.
stuff.
and-
Yeah, well, I played. Sports was the main thing, and I played college football, and I was grateful to find space for both of them.
Well, I
through
think it's also
school.
funny how like we compartmentalize these things, and
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
if you're good at sports, you're not supposed to be good at music, or you're not supposed to be good at math, or you're not supposed, or if it's vice versa, like, oh, you're the nerdy music kid, so you can't be on the
You can't do
basketball
it.
team.
And
But
that-
like,
yeah.
you start to realize that all these things actually they intertwine.
It's true. And
You
the
know?
one thing I've definitely learned, and as I do a lot of like youth engagement work, and I've worked with kids in different forms in terms of teaching and mentoring. And the one thing I'm learning and trying to like expose kids to, and kids see it a lot now because of social media and stuff, that you can kind of do anything you want, and you try to do your best to be true to what you're interested in. And I think growing up, it's easy for you to make decisions based on what your peers are doing. Based on this idea of, I want to be accepted.
And
into this
also
group.
how they
Yeah.
perceive you.
But, yeah.
Because again, like if
Yeah.
you're the cello guy, then it's like, hey, if we need. But there's also like there is merit to that as well. When you're the bass player, or you're the drummer, or you're the forward on the
it's cool to be
basketball
known
team,
by
you're
that.
that guy.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? And it's like, but it helps us form our own identities when we're encouraged at a young age, especially.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think there's a really healthy conversation about like authenticity and living in the trueness of like where you're at in life, regardless of what age you are. But I think it's really, been growing up in that, school, middle school, high school, it's such a very highly peer pressure influenced space. Like whatever your friends do, I'm going to do that versus like, what do I want to do? And even
Exactly.
if my friends may think it's kind of weird or like, who cares about what people think at the same time, right? You want to do what you want.
So let me ask you this. So playing cello, obviously you're going to be playing some classical music, all the Beethoven and sorry, Bach.
Beethoven,
probably the Bach cello suites.
Yes, Handel,
could you play a little bit of the Bach cello suite?
Yeah, I can play the iconic suite number 1. Prelude suite number 1. I've been trying to get down all the Bach's cello suites, and they're really difficult.
Just play a little bit of that.
Something like that, right?
Dude, I know I'm putting you on the spot completely, but
yeah.
This leads to my next question, though. So obviously, growing up, that's the cello standard. But how did you take that and then start songwriting and become more of a pop songwriter?
Yeah.
And when I say pop, I mean generally, like writing songs, writing songs with different forms of verse, chorus type of format. How did you go from that to doing what a guitar player does usually? Someone's playing guitar or piano and singing, do the cello.
I appreciate you asking because I feel very green with that. Like, I started playing cello in 4th grade, but I didn't start cello singing until like right when I moved to Nashville, which was
really
so just been a little over 2 years and change of me like figuring out the idea of doing both at the same time and then writing with cello.
It's so unique. I mean, I don't know of anyone that I can think of in popular culture that is the cello singer. I'm sure you know them.
I know of some, but again, it's compared to the amount of acoustic guitar singer-songwriters, exactly. It pales into comparison.
I think of like Yo-Yo Ma when I think of the cello, but like then what you're doing is more like it's a contemporary music meets the cello, and then when I see you play just you and a cello, or as you'll play a guitar as well, but then you hear the whole song produced out, and I think like it's an interesting way to think because for me as a piano player first. You think about how different musicians approach their songs and how they produce them. Yeah. But when you write on the piano, you get a whole different type of style, like an Elton John, Billy Joel, the chords they were using, versus guitar, which is more like that's the iconic one because you're also moving around and you're able to be free on stage.
Mm-hmm. The basis, the instrument of choice definitely changes the way you write and the ways that you perform, and so you're right. I've quickly learned what it looks like or what it sounds like and the experience of trying to write with this voice, that being the cello, because literally when I'm singing, I'm learning less is more, and when I'm trying to write a song, it's usually I've learned how to play chords. The cello is tuned in fifths, and so the cool thing about it is that similar shapes, you can play really nice chords. And then if like at least from a chord structure standpoint or finding a nice progression, you can write in that way. And that's the one thing I've learned how to like when I did. So whenever we play upside down, you kind of feel that of like, oh, and with like midnight.
Awesome. So speaking of upside down, like let's play.
Oh, you want to do it?
Let's do it. And tell me a little bit about the song.
Yes. Okay. So this song I wrote. It was the first cello singing song that I attempted to write, and I finished writing, and then the first cello singing song that I released. And it's about the season of life that I am in. And when it started, my mom passed away from cancer at the end of 2019, and my older brother has been out of touch since then, unfortunately, too. And then right as all that was weird stuff was happening, I got casted on this Bachelor music show, and I was on that thing. And
really?
Yeah, it was a bunch of stuff. And this was right before the pandemic hit,
Whoa.
like end of 2019, early 2020.
Oh, my gosh. That's how life is sometimes, though. Like, it all comes at once, and it's like, whoa.
And then I took my first trip to Nashville after we filmed that show, and this was February before the pandemic hit. I just remember all this vividly. And then I got back to Texas, and I was like, let me really give music a full go. And I was like, that'd be cool to try to write a cello song and sing.
So this was the first cello song.
I remember sitting there at my sister's place, and I was like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. And then I finished it, and then I started playing it out a lot more, and here we are. So this is
cool.
it.
Well, I'm going to do my best to follow along with you, and
let's do it.
Let's do this.
Here you go. Little intro here. upside down, and I ain't cold, no, hanging around, 'cause I've been let down, stepped on and looked over. But nothing and no one's ever gonna shut me down. No, I may be upside down, but I'm coming back around, yeah. So I've been tumbling around my life lately. This roller coaster ride makes me sick. Up and down, twist and turn. Some days it seems it'll never end, but best believe I ain't never gonna quit. 'Cause I've been flipped upside down, and I ain't cold out, hanging around. Come on. 'Cause I've been let down, stepped on and looked over. But nothing and no one's ever gonna shut me down. No, I may be upside down, but I'm coming back around, yeah. And life may really, really got you off track. Everything around seems so bleak. Hold on tight, a change is coming. Dawn comes to your darkest night. You'll be better off to start, never quit. Oh, and I've been flipped upside down, 'cause I ain't going down, hanging around. And I've been let down, stepped on and looked over, yeah. But nothing and no one's ever gonna shut me down. No, I may be upside down, but I'm coming back around, yeah. We're singing, ooh, 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 singing, ooh, ooh, ooh. Take a little Eddie, come on. Upside down. Yeah. You'll be back, no. I was like, I'm gonna shut me down. No, I may be upside down, but I'm coming back around.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you, man.
Dude, winging it though. I love it.
Oh,
dude.
that was great, man.
I love it. It reminds me when we first met. I think I remember some jam sessions happening there.
That happened at Belcourt.
Yeah, that happened. I
Sure
remember
did.
we were on a round together, and I think it was that song. And it's funny in Nashville sometimes when you do these rounds and you get in these communities, everyone kind of starts to learn everybody's songs.
That's what
happens. And starts to like internalize them, and it's like it becomes the radio instead of like, you know, like my experience always living in New York City, like you always were hearing like what was the most popular, and you're super in tune with the culture. But then in Nashville, if you want to be, you can just be in this little bubble of like just Nashville. Like there's the playlist,
Which
there's
is
like
so interesting.
all these, you know what I mean? Though
Yes.
it's like versus
and you know
like,
all of your friends' songs.
like the
'cause you don't
zeitgeist
support
of like
them.
the local community.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's one of those songs that I actually requested that today from Gabe.
Thanks, man.
When he was coming over, because that is one of my favorite songs of yours. I love that song.
Yeah, I'm honored, man. Yeah, that's a beautiful. Yeah. When we first met is when we played on that round together at Belcourt. That's what we were saying, right? That's
that was the first.
met.
That was the first time, and
Come
I think,
on.
man, Belcourt Taps, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, man.
Definitely
We're trying to find that
a wave.
that
you know?
replacement still, that replacement venue.
Exactly.
We all go and hang.
It's definitely these waves that happen in the music community and the culture, and when you find that group, it's like won't last forever.
Yeah.
Like with anything, but it's like, man, especially during COVID-19, and and there was safety protocols, and we had the shower curtain in front of the stage to keep everyone safe and protected, and
it was the
culture.
thing.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, but that's great, man. Thanks for playing. You sound great on it.
Do you want to play another one?
Dude, I'm down. Yeah, let's do. How many do you want me to do? I'm kind of
maybe
flexible.
three.
Three? Okay, let's do three. I'll end with a guitar one. Well, actually, I'll end with the cello one.
Okay.
Let's do guitar one.
Could you do the cello first because it's already set up?
Oh, yeah. That makes so much sense.
That might be a little
let's see. You've heard my Midnight song, right? Let me do one. This one's called Nashville, Tennessee. I'll do this one.
Oh, yeah.
This is a good one. Chaz knows it well. So
Yo, Chaz.
Chaz helped me out record a good version of this. But yeah, this is a cool one I wrote with two friends, Dan Hudson and oh shoot, now I'm blanking on my buddy's name, and I feel
it's all right.
I feel bad when this happens because I'm blanking on his name. But two solid writers out here, and wrote it. I had the idea for a little while, and I was curious how it was coming together. But it's about the shared experience that we all Nashville musicians have of like waging the beast. Yeah, being in the beast of Nashville.
It's hard living too in a lot of ways, but it's also. Some days you wake up, you think this might be the end. Other days you wake up like, man, I have so much on the calendar for this month.
It's real, yeah. But you're not alone. I think that's the energy of the song. So here we go, Nashville, Tennessee. Every night you're treading water in the sea of neon lights, just going through the motions, singing songs we didn't write. Some nights the place is empty, and sometimes you gotta cry. Either way, you keep on playing, 'cause that's what chasing dreams is all about. Some days it feels like you can walk on water, and sometimes you think you're gonna drown. But when the wind is blowing your direction, another hurricane comes around. So drop your anchor down and ride it out. When it blows through, you will see you're not the only boat trying to stay afloat in this Nashville, Tennessee. And don't know when or if we'll make it. We won't know if we don't try. When you bend, don't let it break you. It won't happen overnight. Some days it feels like you can walk on water, and sometimes you think you're gonna drown. But when the wind is blowing your direction, another hurricane comes around. So drop your anchor down and ride it out. When it blows through, you'll see not the only boat trying to stay afloat in this Nashville, Tennessee. Well, some days it feels like you can walk on water, and sometimes you think you're gonna drown. But when the wind is blowing your direction, another hurricane comes around. So drop your anchor down and ride it out. When it blows through, you'll see you're not the only boat trying to stay afloat in this Nashville, Tennessee. There you go.
Man, dude, that sums up the whole conversation that we just had.
Yes.
About, the community in Nashville, and I love that, like, put your anchor down and ride it out.
Yeah.
Is that the line?
Yeah. Drop your anchor down and ride it out.
Seriously.
Yeah, man. It's interesting. How long have you been in Nashville?
I've been in Nashville 4 years now.
4 years. Okay.
Yeah, almost exactly. And
I mean, that's not too long.
No, it's not too long.
The 2
I'm
years
just getting here,
of like COVID and things
Oh,
like that
yeah.
are like, I mean, they're different.
But man, the people I have met, and it's just, I've just been continually inspired, and it's one of those towns where people come, and I think their expectations a lot of times are different than what it's actually like, for better and worse. But like, because it's like LA, New York, Nashville, Austin, like those types of cities that have this cool like draw. Mm-hmm. So it's like, to take the jump and come here, a lot of times people think it's going to be either all fairy dust, or they even think, damn, I'm never going to make it. Yeah. But you just have to drop your anchor down and ride it out. I love that, man. Because the storms, they're gonna come. I mean, and I love that song. That hearing you play that, actually the first time I ever heard you play that song was at the food hall. Oh yeah. And I was just randomly I'd never heard you play that one. Is that a newer one?
I wrote it towards the beginning of this past year.
Okay, yeah.
So it's probably, I've written a couple more cello songs since then, but it's one of the newer ones for sure.
So I was down at the Assembly Food Hall where Gabe sometimes plays, and he was playing, and I was like, oh, that's my friend Gabe, and that's Nashville. I love that part.
Eddie, I feel like I always see you around at these like pop-up spots.
Random things.
Like, hey, there's
so do you have any gigs coming up or shows that you'd like to shout out or promote?
I'd love to, I kind of, sometimes I can overcommit to things, but so I gratefully commit to a bunch of shows these next 2 weeks, but one notable one coming up, I'm playing the Listening Room next Friday, the 16th.
Okay.
December 16th. And I got a couple outside of that coming up and playing. Have you played Going Up Live at 8th and Peabody?
No, but I've been there before.
I've been there before. I'm playing a quick set there this Friday.
Okay.
And then,
wait, I think you said the other one was this Friday.
So this Friday is the Going Up Live. It's called Going Up Live. Cool. Friday the 16th is Listening Room.
Okay, cool.
And then next Monday I'm actually playing Assembly Food Hall. So I kind of committed a couple more before the Christmas break.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been taking a little bit of a break from playing live, but I'm really looking forward to getting back out there as well, and hopefully doing some more stuff with you live. And
dude, we need Eddy Echo out there in the streets, man. We need Eddie in the streets playing.
I'm getting out there, man. I'm getting out there. But all right, so let's play one on the guitar then.
I'm going on the folky end. Is that cool? Yeah. Here we go. And I'm kind of moving the mic. So the reason, we can talk in the mic. So, let me know what you think about the positioning here.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, maybe a little further up. Nice. Gabe also does some engineering while we're here at our show.
Man, we're all helping each other out. Yeah.
What's this one called?
So this one's called Things I've Been Learning. And so I qualify myself without putting myself in a box, but like the sound that I typically write with is like soul folk. And that kind of covers a pretty broad spectrum of things, and so
it really is, though. It's like a soul folk, like organic instruments, but with a contemporary melody.
Contemporary side, and so
vocally, I would say it's contemporary, right?
Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. And so this is kind of on my end of that an indie folk acoustic side of writing. And I wrote this song with Tori Grace. You know Tori?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I know Tori. Super nice.
And I figured I'd play this amongst the other songs I know, mainly because I'm going to be probably releasing it towards the top of next year. Oh, I hate to be out of tune. I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh, it's all right. Should have a tune.
I think that's it.
That's a tune. Oh, that's good.
Oh, it does.
That's good.
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, but this is one of the most important parts of playing live in Nashville. Like when people play out, is getting the guitar in tune.
You gotta get the tuning right. And that's
but it's hard though when people went to loud place and you're trying to get it, and it's like, I get it, but like, there you go.
That's real.
There you go.
That's pretty good. We'll live with it. And so this song is kind of just, it captures a bit of my heart and mentality to always be a learner, to be a grower. And so being in Nashville has been all about living in a new place, taking in the lessons learned, living in grief, living in joy, living in just fun times, living in challenging times, and so triumphant times, so many things. And so this song is like I think a really cool, I feel like a universal song about things I've been learning, as simple as it sounds. And so hope you like it. Here he goes. You You don't know what you got until it's gone. And sometimes love walking out is what you needed all along. And it's okay to cry in private or in public. You may think it changes how they see you, but it doesn't. And no one really cares if your place is a mess. 'Cause anyone who's human knows how busy life can get. You ain't asking for too much, you're just asking the wrong person. These are a few of the things that I've been learning. You can do what's right for you without their permission. And if you're not okay, just say it. Don't have to keep it hidden. And life's not a shortcut, it's a long way around. And everything is lost before it's found. Filtered photos on your phone, they're only an illusion. Comparison's a thief of joy, and time that ain't worth losing. No one has to live with you but you, so you ought to love that person. These are a few of the things that I've been learning. So do your best and get some rest, and call the ones you love. 'Cause the time that you have left with them is never quite enough. And try not to forget, you ain't the only one who's hurting. These are a few of the things that I've been learning. Oh, these are a few of the things that I've been learning. Things that I've been learning. Wow. There you go.
That's amazing.
Thank you, man.
So not only do you learn, but you're also a teacher.
I am, yeah, kind of low key, but it's kind of, yeah, it's been a part of my life.
So what advice would you give a young person who maybe is going through a tough time figuring out what they want to do and who they are?
Yeah, I think it's you're while time is short, life is short, but you're don't feel rushed to make a decision on where you need to be or what you need to do. Explore your curiosities. Ask yourself the questions you need to ask yourself that you just learn about yourself, and don't try to box yourself into the perspective or expectations of others, or even the pressure you put on yourself to be something. But just be honest and live in the space of what you feel you're connected to.
And I believe that that's what you do, Gabe.
I do my best. Thanks so much.
And you know what? I really like that song because I think it's a Nashville style song.
It's classic Nash.
And yeah, exactly. And I remember the first Nashville song I wrote was called Dear Sam. And it's a song about a sick kid, but I really dove into the lyrics. And here's what I think the difference is between a Nashville song and an LA song. I think a Nashville song is more like a book, where there's a whole story, and then there's like the part that turns around. Where an LA song and a pop song like that is more like a movie, where you're like seeing like everything like
that's cool.
Like everything's like boom boom, like explosions, like sound effects, like
Michael Bay
action. Oh yeah, Michael Bay action the whole time. And then a Nashville song is like
it's like let's sit down and read a book.
Yeah, exactly. Nashville song's like, well, here's but then there's always that turnaround.
The turnaround, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what you did in that song, which was like the turnaround of like these are the things that I've been learning, and it's like I can see it all in my head. Like you said, if your place isn't clean. You know, these types of things, it's like, it's not the end of the world, every little thing. Like, people don't just write you off for things that are like, that we think, you know?
Yeah, we always kind of overthink and do things based on, what people actually aren't saying about you kind of. Yeah, well, thank you for sharing that.
Dude, well, I think we'll wrap this up.
Come on.
Why don't you tell the people exactly where they can find you and what you have coming up?
Yes. Well, again, my name is Gabe Baker, and you can find me on all the socials at the Gabe Baker. Just put a TheGabeBaker and Gabe Baker on your streaming channels as well. I got a lot of good music coming out. I got a song coming out this Friday, December 9th, and lots of music coming out in the new year, 2023.
What's that song called?
The song's called Moving On, and it's in my pocket of like singer-songwriter acoustic kind of vibes.
Great.
I really, really like it. I'm excited for it. And I got a lot of more kind of R&B stuff, got some good cello stuff coming out. So just staying active. And so follow me on the socials to kind of keep up if you're interested. And if you're in Nashville, come say hi. I'm playing shows pretty regularly and love to collaborate as a cellist as well if you need a cello guy. So.
And you're out and about in the community, and we appreciate that.
Thank you, man.
Really, everyone, you're doing your part, man.
Thank you, man. It's my honor.
Thanks for being here. And this has been the Eddy Echo Show, and this is my guest and good friend, Gabe Baker.